What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Patriot Specialized. Tuesday morning. Tuesday. Yesterday we got our haul, that tank haul we picked up at the end of last episode, the one we had to retarp. We got that delivered yesterday. That didn't go quite as fast as I wanted it to. Delivery went pretty fast, but taking off and folding up 3 tarps, it just takes a minute. So. Creeping up the list of probably the coolest stuff I've ever hauled. We're gonna go hunting for Ewoks. I really wish I had like a Darth Vader or a Stormtrooper helmet I could put on while I was going to deliveries.
Black smoke and white line, steel horses side by side. It's more than just a living, y'all.
Oh man.
It's all way of life.
That grease on my pants. Dang it. It's supposed to be like that. But the longer you look at this thing, the worse it gets. Like,
if you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys.
So the delivery went okay, but it took a little longer to get there than I thought. Ooh, he's moving. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get out of this parking space with that guy right there. But he's actually moving, so thought we were going to be back in that situation. So we are currently sitting in. I booked a load yesterday on my way out. On my way out to delivery, I booked a load out of the port in Baltimore. 320 excavator going back to Perrysburg, Ohio. The idea was to pick it up yesterday. That didn't happen. I didn't get out of my delivery until about 2. It was about 5 after 2, I think, I pulled out of there, and just too much real estate between me and the pickup to get there by 3 o'clock. I actually think they were there till 3:30, but it wouldn't have mattered because I hit some traffic, and I wouldn't have been able to get there anyway, so I couldn't have got there by 3:30. So we stayed in Jessup, Maryland last night at the TA. This is really the best option in this area. Whole parking lot is pay to park. And if my battery lasts long enough here, I will show you guys how this works to get out of here. So let's get our logbook started. We already walked around the truck, checked everything. Let's get our logbook started, and we will get on out of here. Go make our pickup. Picking up at Mid-Atlantic Terminal. They don't open until 8 o'clock. So, and they are one of the better ones about getting people through the line, so it should go quick even if there's a big long line and group of people there. Should go fairly quick to get checked in. Hopefully we'll be checked in and out of there by 9 o'clock, I hope. I don't know, we'll see. 9:30. The goal is to make delivery today, pick up and deliver. It's a tall order. It's going to a cat dealer, so it's possible they could be there late. There's potential of it working out, but probably not. I'm probably going to end up delivering it in the morning, which will create a little bit of a problem for where we're going to stay at. I permitted across the turnpikes. This thing's 10 wide, 47,000 pounds, so I got the turnpikes for permit. Fastest way to get there, only way possibly make delivery today would be the only way. That's the only way to do it. We got a yesterday afternoon. My agent called me, and there was a AMPV from York to Anniston that we originally booked for Wednesday. Then he had a return trip from down there. From Anniston coming right back to York, and then another AMPV to go back down that I was going to load on Monday. So I would load Wednesday, deliver Thursday, reload Thursday, deliver Friday. Then I would probably put the one for Monday on the trailer, drop the trailer there, and bobtail home. However, they switched around some pickup dates. Now they want 2 picked up on Monday rather than the one Wednesday and the one Monday. So obviously I can't do 2 loads on the same day. So I only ended up with 1. He bid the he bid the return trips kind of high, just seeing if he'd get it, and he didn't get it. So there is no, as of right now, there's no return trip this week anyway. So good part is we know that, and if there's one pops up for next week, maybe I can get it next week. But right now, for this week, we got to worry about getting this thing picked up, try to make some money. I lost yesterday, and today's is not great money. So it's gonna be we're gonna be playing catch up all week, trying to catch up. Let's go see if we can get out of here. What happens here is you, when you pull in, you get a ticket like this out of a machine, and then the whole parking lot is pay to park. You get that ticket, you have to go inside. If you spend $30 inside, or you pay for reserve parking, then your parking fee is covered. So I just go ahead and reserve parking when I'm here. I might as well, if I'm going to pay to park anyways, I might as well park close to the building. So I just get reserve parking. So then you got to take your ticket inside and show them your receipt for $30, or have them pull up your reserve parking, and then you can they validate your ticket and it'll let you out. Now, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't read the signs. I'm not even sure the signs are up anymore. But a lot of people don't know that. That looks like maybe what's happening right now. So sometimes it's a little bit of an event to get out of this place. We're going to see what happens here. Hopefully this Conestoga right here in front of me knows what he's doing, and we can get out of there. Run over to Mid-Atlantic. They don't open till, it's currently 6:56. They don't open till 8, but it takes a minute to get through, get checked or get through security and all that if there's a line of trucks. So I'd like to go over a little early, and like I said, they're pretty fast, so even if there's a big long line of people there, trucks there to load this morning, they move them through pretty quick. So let's see what happens here. Somebody broke the screen already. There we go. That's how it's supposed to work right there. Needed to get fuel, but last night when I pulled in here, I didn't really need to get fuel, but I wanted to get fuel. And last night the line was backed way up here to where this bobtail's sitting right out here. The line was clear out to where that bobtail is to get fuel, and I was like, you know what? Got half a tank, I'll just get it later. But that's a pretty truck. Alright. Off to the port we go. All right. Tuesday evening, 5:37 p.m. We are parked for the night in Perrysburg, Ohio. Just barely didn't make it to delivery. We got out of the port. We got loaded this morning. Got out of the port right when I wanted to. I think it was 9:01 when I climbed back on my truck, roll out of there. We checked in there. They opened the gate. There was 10, maybe 15 people in front of me. I didn't count, but there was 10 or 15 people in front of me checking in this morning, and I walked in when they opened up, and at 8:11 I was walking out of there. So that's how fast they run 10 or 15 people through, super fast. Got over, found my unit right away, got loaded up. There was a whole bunch of people right there, a whole bunch of stuff going on, so I didn't want to be in everybody's way and set up cameras and do all that, so I didn't get any film. while I was loading. But I figured this evening I was actually running trying to make delivery. You know, I said earlier that the goal was to make delivery on this thing, and we just barely missed it. I called them. They were open till 5 o'clock, but their gates automatically lock at 5 o'clock, and there's nothing they can do about it. According to him, there's nothing they can do about it, that it locks up and they can't manually open them. And they don't open again until 6 in the morning. So it's kind of like a chicken gate. I guess maybe they're all chicken people, that they got chicken gates, and the door doesn't open and close until, you know, certain times. So unfortunately, didn't work out for us. I was hoping to make delivery today. That would have been great. Then I could have ran over to, I got a coil booked out of just like 30 miles west of here, out of Delta, Ohio, to take it back to Cleveland. And we'll run that on the RGN, and then I'm going to switch back to the Conestoga trailer, load something else tomorrow afternoon. But I could have done that tonight. I could have went over, loaded it up, and got back over here tonight, which would have been great, but unfortunately missed it by a half hour. Wasn't going to be there till 5:30. It is what it is. At least I'm going to get a nice shower and a good meal out of this. This is a great truck stop. Great place to be, so one of my favorite stops. So, but I figured I'd jump out here and show you the load, show you what we got while we were there. It's pretty simple, pretty basic, same as always, but a little bit interesting, I guess. All right, we are in Perrysburg, Ohio, at the Petro, the first exit on 280. There's Ghost. And I know that the camera is making Ghost look super clean right now, but I really seriously considered, if you look at that stack, you can kind of see it. I very seriously considered swinging in the truck wash over there. If it wasn't for that sky up there looking the way it does, I probably would have went in and got a truck wash, gave this thing a bath. However, if that turns into water falling from the sky tonight, then the dealership, when I get there, I'm sure that their parking lot where we unload at is all dirt and gravel, so it's probably going to be pretty muddy in the morning, and that would have been a wasted $72 for me. But this is what we got on. Cat 320 excavator. I had to kind of remember how to work the RGN. I haven't had to detach it for a couple weeks. The loads that I did haul with it, they were forklift load and unload, so I didn't have to detach it. So I was remembering how to do it. But it's like riding a bike, wasn't any big deal. Got right back to it. So what I did for securement, this thing weighs 47,000 pounds. What I did for securement, I did my normal on the four corners. I hooked the binder. It was kind of funny. The reason that these chains are here is kind of funny. But I did my normal 4 chains on the corner, hook right to the track, right to into the trailer. And then I did those, and then I added the required securement going across the arm. Even though it's tucked in there and there's no chance of it being able to swing in or out, it'll hit the trailer before anything happens. We got our securement on there. So with the 4 corners pinned, we get half credit, half credit, half credit, half credit. So basically we got 26,000 pounds of securement right there. Well, we're going to call it 22,000 pounds of securement right there. And then this one we get full credit for because it goes all the way across. So that counts up to 33,000 pounds of securement, holding in a 47,000 pound load. That was more than enough to account for what we are required to have. However, because I'm an idiot, when I was getting my securement, I had it in the headache rack back there. And when I was getting the chains and stuff out of the headache rack, I went ahead and just threw 5 chains, 5 binders, jumped down, and then I'm like, hey idiot, you don't need those 5 chains. We only need 1 of them. So I had them out, so I went ahead and added these 2 chains just because they were already out, and I honestly didn't feel like putting them back away. I'll just use them instead of putting them back away. So they are really only on there for that, but that gives us another 6,500 pounds of credit. So we're basically sitting at like 40,000 pounds of securement weight. What would you say? Securement equipment on this thing, holding in a 47,000. We're almost 100% of the way to load when we're only required to have 50% of the way to load. So, you know, it is what it is. That's a good thing. Didn't have to worry about it going anywhere, that's for sure. This particular load, I permitted across Pennsylvania and Ohio turnpikes, which was obviously the fastest way. I was really trying to get here by 5 o'clock, and that's obviously the fastest way is to come across the turnpikes. Now, the one thing that I did want to say, I mentioned it in one of the other episodes, but I wanted to bring it up again because it's pretty important. You notice when I was talking about these chains here, when I mentioned them, when I mentioned these chains right here and that we only get 6,500 pounds of credit, it is a half-inch chain. This is a half-inch, two of my half-inch chains. However, because I'm using I just grabbed 2 of the binders out of there that I had. These binders are 3/8 binders, so they're only rated at 6,500 pounds. So we don't get the credit. We get the lower of the 2. So I can't account for the full credit of the half-inch chain. I have to count for the weight of the 3/8 binder. That's why I said that you only get 6,500 pounds credit for these 2, because you get half credit because they don't go all the way across, and then they're only rated at 6,500 pounds. So I wanted to bring that up, but I brought it up in one of the other episodes, and I wanted to bring it up again because it's definitely worth bringing. Something you got to think about when you have multiple different types of securement on your truck. Which one are you using? And even though you got to make sure that when DOT looks at it, they're going to take the lesser of all of them, and that includes your securement attachment points. You have to check the rating on those. Like when I'm running the Conestoga and they have those J hooks, those J hooks are rated at 10,000 pounds. So you have to keep that in mind too, because it's the lower of all of it. The J hook is rated at 10,000 pounds. I think it's actually 8,000 pounds, but when you put 2 of them together, you get a 16,000 pounds. So 1 half-inch chain going across, hooking the 2 of those, and you get full credit for that chain. But it's something you got to think about. Your attachment points, your D-rings. If you guys are using D-rings like I do sometimes on the inside of these things, you have to check the weight rating on those and make sure they're rated as much as your equipment, or you account for the fact that they aren't, because DOT, I guarantee, is going to look at that weight rating. They're going to try to find something that you did wrong there, and you just don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be caught with your pants down on something that you could have prevented pretty easy just by knowing a weight rating. So that's why I wanted to bring up. That's why I wanted to show you this particular. Make sure everybody remembers that, and hopefully that will help you out in the future. Now, right now, I don't know what this sky is going to do, but it is looking like we're going to get wet. So I think I'm going to go ahead and book my shower, get my shower taken care of, and we're running, this thing's 47,000 pounds. We're running 6 axles on it because I wanted that extra weight back here. Man, I keep hearing air leaking from somewhere. No, that's not me. That's him over there. That's good. Not me. Not me. Now tomorrow we are going to get this thing delivered in the morning. They said the gates open at 6, but obviously I can't get in there at 6. Sunrise, it should be somewhere around, I haven't looked yet, but it should be somewhere around 7:15, which will allow me to leave here. In Ohio, you can leave a half hour before, so I probably can get out of here about 6:45. I'm only 19 minutes away, so I should be there by 7:15 or so. We'll get this thing kicked off. Hopefully I'm out of there by 8 o'clock. Then I can run the half hour over to Delta, snatch up that coil. That's usually a pretty fast process, so I should be in and out of there pretty decent time, 45 minutes maybe tops. Hopefully I can get on there. Hopefully I can get on their scale. I might have to raise this thing up to get on the scale without dragging on the way out of there. On the way in shouldn't be a problem when I'm empty, but on the way out when I'm loaded. We also are going to have to do a little finagling with our outrigger boards to get the center to be right where I need it, so I can put that coil on without worrying about the boards tipping up on me. And we'll get that thing picked up, run it over to Cleveland, deliver it up in Cleveland, and then we're going to run over, drop this trailer at the yard, snatch up the Conestoga. We're going to run the Conestoga for a few days, and then we need this thing again on Monday because we do have one of the AMPVs from York to Anniston booked for Monday, maybe Tuesday. There's another guy that's out there and he's empty. and he might want the earlier one, and I said that was fine, like no big deal, we can switch. That would give me time to preload something on Friday, then I can run somewhere, deliver it with the Conestoga, and then come back and switch trailers, and still give me time to get out to York. Or I could possibly, if there's a single coil or something, I could possibly load it on this trailer going out toward York and take it with me, deliver it in the morning, and then go load over at with the AMPV. So that's what we got. That's what's bouncing around in my head all the time, trying to figure out putting that puzzle together. But that's what we got. Looking pretty good. Little interesting getting off the turnpike. I was on a turnpike, and if you ever get off the turnpike and you have an oversized load, you need the right-hand lane, the right-hand toll booth. That is the widest one. It's always the right hand, all the way to the right, always the widest one. They usually keep them at 11, 12 foot, something like that. Unfortunately, when I got off this, apparently the permit office or whatever didn't get the memo, and that lane, they were working on it, it was closed. They were doing some wiring or something up in the ceiling, probably wiring in an easy pass, whatever. But there was no chance of them opening that lane anytime soon. So I ended up having to stop before I got to the booth and walk up there. And then one of the toll people came out, and she said, she opened up the gate. She still had me go around behind the building, open up the gate back there, took my transponder and looked at my permit and all that stuff. So it was all good, no big deal. Just had to stop and walk up there and talk to them and then walk back. So that was the interesting part, like kind of caught me off guard when I came around the corner, and I was like, uh-oh, because there was zero chance of a 10-foot wide load making it through any other one of those toll booths, like other than all the way to the right. Zero chance. Like there's no way. So you almost hit your mirrors going through there on a truck. There's no way that you would make it with the load. So I'm kind of glad that she came out and directed me around behind. No big deal. It went pretty smooth for what. When I pulled up there and saw that, I thought maybe this was going to turn into a bad thing, but turned out to be all right. So yeah, off we go, and we will get this thing delivered tomorrow morning and then go pick up our coil. So talk to you in the morning.